This is Dr. Edward Conley for February 2015 edition of Vitality Today. And today we're going to talk about an exciting new study that's happening here at the Fatigue, Fibromyalgia, and Autoimmune Clinic of Michigan. It's involving a new nutrient, which we've known about for years, but there has never been a way to actually stabilize it and give it to people. And that nutrient is called NAD. NAD stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. From now on, we'll refer to it as NAD. And for those of you who have read America Exhausted, you understand that the mitochondria are the power plants inside of each and every cell of our body. That is where we convert our food, fat, carbohydrate, and protein, amino acids, into energy. We've long known that the lower your NAD levels can actually trigger, the higher your NAD levels actually will trigger more energy production. Because as your cells sense your NAD levels getting high, it starts to produce more energy, so you can convert that NAD to something called NADH. Now, many of you are familiar with the NADH supplement, which we've been using now for about 10 years as a sublingual supplement to help with cognitive function and energy production. But actually, the better nutrient is NAD, because that is the one that the cell senses more closely. But we've never had a stabilized way of actually being able to give it to someone. We do now. And we are conducting a study here at the clinic on patients with chronic fatigue to determine if this NAD by supplement will help improve their energy production. The studies so far are fairly convincing, but they have been mostly done on animal models. Now, as you know, mitochondria of mice function in the same way as a mitochondria in a human. And studies have shown that mice given the NAD along with a high-fat diet actually were able to produce 33% more energy than the mice that were just given the high-fat diet. They actually put the mice, I think they make them swim. They don't put them on little treadmills. They made the mice swim, they swim them to exhaustion, and the mice who got NAD actually were able to swim 33% longer. Their oxygen consumption was 33% greater, and oxygen consumption is a way that we measure how well or how poorly those mitochondria are working. Now, I don't want to make this too complicated, but basically it showed that those mice, the mitochondria, were able to burn fat for energy on an improved basis, and 33% is a very nice improvement in energy production. There have also been other studies on lower forms of animals. One is, of all things, a roundworm, which is one of the methods that they use for establishing energy production in animals, that showed that they were able to improve the mitochondrial function by about 16%. The NAD is made from a natural substance that should occur in our food, but we certainly do not get enough NAD, or for those of you who have chronic fatigue, it would be hard to get enough NAD through food alone. You may notice at the beginning of the word NAD is nicotinamide, which is a form of vitamin B3, niacin. Niacin can help you to make this NAD. And in the past, we've tried giving people niacin. You may have heard about it to lower cholesterol, but we also have used it in chronic fatigue. One of the problems is that to try and give enough niacin Many people get hot flashes and or skin redness, and it becomes somewhat irritating at the doses that we need to give. And therefore, many people have not been able to tolerate it. So it is unclear if large doses of niacin itself would improve energy production, although that niacin has to be converted to NAD in the body, and my guess is that many of you cannot do that. So, if you are interested in participating in this study, or if you know anybody who is, using this natural ingredient, NAD, to determine if we can improve energy production, let us know here at the clinic. Either give us an email or at ffcmclinic.com, or phone us at 810-230-8677. This study will be ongoing through the course of 2015, and I'm excited about it. We will also monitor for those patients who are in the study if it improves their cognitive function, because there are many other studies that shows that NAD actually can help improve cognitive function, which of course is a problem for many of you. So NAD is an important nutrient that is absolutely essential in that mitochondria, the energy production power plant. We must have adequate amounts of NAD for that to function. And the higher your NAD levels, your body actually senses that you need more energy and turns those mitochondria up, along with the fact that the NAD is important in multiple areas as a cofactor for multiple reactions in that Krebs cycle, which is how the energy takes place. And if you've read America Exhausted, or any of you who are patients here, we have talked about the Krebs cycle. If you are not a patient here or don't understand the Krebs cycle, please take a look at Chapter 3 in my book, America Exhausted. There are many other exciting things happening here for 2015 at the clinic, and so I would recommend that if you know anybody who has chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, autoimmune disease, thyroid disease, or a chronic disease of any type, have them let us know. We're working with patients from all over the United States and 17 different foreign countries, and the results in 2014 have just been fantastic. Has it been hard work? Yes. Does everybody improve 100%? Not yet. We're working on it. But many people have seen significant improvement. You have seen from my other videos about many of the other things that we're doing in the way of improving energy production, working on improving muscle energy production, reducing inflammation in the muscles. We've done a lot of work in 2014 on irritable bowel syndrome. And if you know anybody with irritable bowel syndrome, make sure that they contact us for treatment, because we have found many patients with unknown parasites. Many of those patients have had multiple stool tests done before that were negative. We have found with our new stool test the parasites. Some of them have yeast overgrowth, and many of the issues we've talked before in past Vitality Today issues, and which we'll talk about more here in 2015. So if you are interested in this study, or if you know anybody who's been postponing treatment for chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, autoimmune diseases, irritable bowel syndrome, or any chronic disease, have them contact us. Let's get to work in 2015 to make this a better year for you and a better year for people you love. As you know, improving your health has to be a priority in 2015. It is not going to get any cheaper to be sick. Many of you, including myself, have had your deductibles double, your insurance premiums have doubled, and in my opinion, that's just going to get worse. It's going to become more expensive to get treatment if you don't start doing some work now to get yourself healthier. So please, by all means, start to take steps in 2015 to move yourself forward. Obviously, the most important reason is just your quality of life. We see people every day in their 30s, 40s, 50s that these improvements of their quality of life are going to pay them benefits for 40 or more years. So, if you're interested in this novel and interesting new natural ingredient named NAD and participating in the study, contact us, and we would be happy, I would be happy to discuss it more with you in person. For February 2015, this is Dr. Edward Conley for Vitality Today.